My beloved child, come closer for a moment. Let your heart be still, let your breath soften, and let your spirit open like a quiet morning sky. For what I am about to share is not a simple message, not a passing whisper, not a fleeting imagination. And no, this is a summons, a heavenly stirring sent straight from the warrior of God, Archangel Michael himself. I remember the moment when this message came, and I tell you the truth, my child, the air around me shifted. It felt like the ground beneath my feet knew something sacred was approaching. There was a silence so deep that even the smallest sound felt like thunder. You know those moments, the ones that feel too heavy to be ordinary, too alive to be ignored. That is when he came. I felt the warmth first like a shield of light brushing gently across my shoulder. And then I heard his voice, not loud, not frightening, but firm, clear, and carrying the weight of eternity. He said, "Tell them their soulmate is in danger because of something they still do not know. Their life is being affected by a decision connected to them. Tell them not to ignore this." My child, if your heart felt something just now, a pull, a tremble, a stirring, then hear this with every part of your spirit. For there are moments in life when heaven leans close, when divine protectors speak not to scare us, but to awaken us. And this is one of those moments. There is a story unfolding around you that you cannot yet see. There is a thread tied between your soul and another, a soulmate, a destined companion, someone whose life intertwines with yours in ways too deep for earthly explanation. And this soulmate, this precious soul, is being affected by a decision you made without knowing its power. Some decisions are loud, spoken, visible, intentional. But others, oh, my child, others happen quietly. They slip from the heart without a sound, yet they echo across the fabric of destiny. Something you did, said, avoided, feared, walked away from, or didn't take serious that created a ripple. And that ripple reached them. It touched their life. It shifted their path. Archangel Michael comes not with accusation, but with warning and with love. He comes because there is still time. He comes because destiny can still be restored. He comes because your soulmate's spirit is calling out, and heaven heard them. So listen closely. Stay with me. Do not turn away. Do not brush this off as coincidence or curiosity. What you are hearing is not meant to scare you. It is meant to prepare you. Your story is about to open. Their story is about to unfold. And your connection to them is deeper than you realize. My beloved child, as you stay with me now, let your heart open even wider, for what I am about to share flows directly from the moment the heavenly whisper first reached me. It did not come with thunder or fire. It did not shake the earth or cast shadows upon the walls. No, it arrived in the gentlest way, as though the heavens themselves were holding their breath, waiting for just the right moment to speak. I was sitting in a quiet room, the kind of stillness where even the smallest movement feels like a wave across water. The world outside was busy, rushing, full of noise, but inside that place, a silence formed so complete that it felt purposeful. And suddenly, like dawn cutting through darkness, a presence filled the room. It was him, Archangel Michael. Not in the terrifying manner stories sometimes describe. Not with blazing fire or overwhelming spectacle. His presence came like a protector stepping into a room already filled with love. The light that wrapped around me was warm, golden, alive. It was not the kind of light you see with your eyes, but the kind that your soul recognizes instantly. My beloved child, you would know it too. It is the kind of presence that does not ask for your attention. It naturally draws your spirit into stillness. And then, he spoke. His voice did not echo. It did not shout. Instead, it moved through the room like truth carried on a wing. Every syllable felt precise, intentional. And his message, my child, was for you. Not for the world in general, not for crowds, not for nameless faces. It was for the one who would hear this, the one who would feel the pull in their heart. He said that there is someone whose destiny is tied to yours in ways you may not fully understand. Someone whose spirit recognizes yours even from a distance. Someone heaven calls your soulmate. But something had shifted around them. A fog. A distortion. Something that did not belong to them had wrapped around their path. And when I asked what had caused this, Archangel Michael said something that made my heart still. He said that the disturbance was connected to you. Something you decided, something you didn't realize, would travel so far, had reached them like a ripple across the spiritual waters. He did not speak in blame. He spoke in urgency. He spoke in mercy. He spoke in the tone of a warrior who sees danger where you cannot, who understands the battlefield your eyes do not yet perceive. The danger your soulmate faces is not one of physical harm, but one of spiritual misdirection, of infusion, a heavy emotion, a door closing that should remain open. It is as though their heart stood at a crossroads, and something shifted the signs without them noticing. You may wonder, how could something I do affect someone so deeply tied to my soul? How could a choice I made without malice or intention become a wind blowing in their direction? But this is the mystery of soul connection. When two destinies are intertwined, decisions do not stay in their own corners. They move, they echo, they influence. They carry energies that travel farther than footsteps and louder than spoken words. Michael wanted you to know this because heaven does not want you to walk blindly. Heaven does not want your soulmate wandering in confusion while you remain unaware of the impact you carry. The Archangel stood before me like a guardian blocking a storm. He wanted no fear in this message, only clarity, only awareness. Because danger can be redirected when seen. Confusion can be cleared when named. And what was shaken can be restored when truth arrives. He showed me a vision, my child. Not of the physical form of your soulmate, but of their spirit. I saw a light flickering, not dying, just trembling like a flame in unpredictable wind. And he said, this flicker is connected to the one you will speak to. Tell them to listen. Tell them to stay open. Tell them not to turn away from this message. There are moments in life when heaven speaks softly, and there are moments when heaven speaks with a firmness that carries both love and command. This message came with the second. There was no room for delay. There was no space for uncertainty. He said this must be delivered, and it must be opened at the right time by the right soul. You, my beloved child, are that soul. Your soulmate feels something shifting in their life even now. They may feel lost, uncertain, pressured, tired in ways they cannot explain. They may feel disconnected, or burdened, or pulled into a direction that doesn't feel natural. And the root of this, the beginning thread, leads back to a decision you made, one you probably thought affected only you. This is not a message of guilt. No, my child. This is a message of awakening. For if your actions can shift their path unknowingly, imagine what your awareness, your intention, your love, your alignment can do knowingly. Imagine the healing you can bring. Imagine the clarity you can restore. Imagine the protection you can awaken over them once you see the truth. Stay with me, beloved. Let us continue walking deeper into this message together. Their light, their path, Their heart may depend on the understanding you receive in these next moments. And I will not let you walk through this without guidance. My beloved child, stay close as we step deeper into this revelation, for now we enter the heart of the message, the thread that binds you and your soulmate. This is not an ordinary bond, nor is it a simple connection born from coincidence. Soulmates are not chosen by emotion alone. They are woven into each other by the Creator before either breathes their first breath. And when Archangel Michael spoke of the trembling in their path, he was speaking of the delicate yet powerful strand that ties the two of you together. I want you to picture something with me now, my child. Imagine two lights in a vast expanse of darkness. They do not touch. They do not collide. They may stand miles apart, and yet a single golden thread links them. Even if one light flickers, the other feels it. Even if one moves, the thread pulls gently on the other. These lights are the souls of destined companions. This is how heaven sees you and your soulmate. Human eyes see separation. Heavenly eyes see connection. When Michael revealed this, his voice carried a softness, as though he knew how heavy such truth could feel. He explained that soulmate bonds are not about romance alone. They are about alignment, purpose, and spiritual design. He showed me how your soul and theirs move like two currents flowing toward a destined meeting point. Each current carries memories, choices, hopes, and fears. And when one current shifts suddenly, the other feels the turbulence. Your soulmate feels something right now. They may not understand why their emotions have grown unpredictable. They may feel waves of longing, moments of confusion, or sudden thoughts of you without understanding the spiritual mechanics behind them. They may feel drawn to you and distant from you in alternating pulses, almost like the tide moving back and forth. This is not random, my child. It is the thread responding to movement. And Michael said that part of this movement came from you. Do not let your heart grow heavy. This is not a reprimand. This is an unveiling. For you cannot correct what you do not know, and you cannot strengthen what you do not see. The Archangel showed me something else, something I wish you could have witnessed with your own eyes. He revealed the map of soul connections. It did not look like a physical map with roads and boundaries. It looked like a living tapestry. Millions of glowing lines crossing, weaving, flowing. And among them, some threads glowed brighter, as though marked by divine intention. Among those threads was the one that connected you to your soulmate. When I looked closer, Michael placed his hand upon that glowing connection and said, "This is why they feel what they feel. This is why their path responds to the unseen movements in your life." Soulmates do not need constant contact. They do not need to speak daily. They do not even need to be aware consciously that the other exists. Your spirits know. Their souls recognize. Their hearts move to the same rhythm set by heaven. Your choice, the one you made without realizing its weight, sent a ripple through this thread. Not a destructive one, not a harmful one, but one that created turbulence. You may have let go of something you were meant to hold. You may have hesitated in a moment when you were meant to move. You may have stepped into something that sent your spirit slightly out of alignment. Whatever it was, it reached them. When two souls are meant to walk a path together, even temporary misalignment can feel like confusion, fear, or emotional exhaustion. It can make one's soul wander mentally or spiritually, unsure of what they are sensing. It can lead them to question themselves, their direction, your choices. This is what your soulmate has been experiencing. They do not know where this feeling comes from, but the heavens do. Michael spoke firmly when he said this. They feel lost because they are spiritually waiting for you to see what has shifted within yourself. They stand at a spiritual doorway that will open only when you realign with the truth you have not yet acknowledged. My child, do you understand now? This is not about blame. This is about awakening to the power of connection. When heaven ties two destinies together, the language between those spirits is subtle, deep, and sacred. It is not spoken through words. It is spoken through choices, intuition, timing, and divine orchestration. Your soulmate is not in danger of losing their life. No. They are in danger of stepping into a direction that does not belong to them, a path not written for them, simply because the thread between you has been shaking. Heaven wants this corrected before confusion becomes misdirection. There is a profound responsibility in being connected to someone at the soul level. But there is also profound honor, for it means that your existence has the power to shape their destiny. It means your healing affects their healing. Your alignment affects their direction. Your courage affects their clarity. This is why the Archangel came. This is why the message carries urgency. Your soulmate is feeling the effects of the unseen. And now, you are being called to see it, to understand it, and soon, to act upon it. My beloved child, let us walk even deeper into this revelation, for now we reach the place where the unseen danger begins to show its shape. When Archangel Michael spoke of your soulmate, he did not speak with fear, nor with panic, but with a seriousness that made the air itself stand still. He spoke as a warrior who had seen spiritual forces attempting to influence a destiny that was never meant to be touched. And I want you to understand what kind of danger your soulmate is facing, not to frighten you, but to bring light where there has been shadow. The danger is not physical. It is not a threat to their body or their safety. No, my child, the danger is more subtle, more delicate, and far more easily overlooked. It is the danger of misdirection, the danger of confusion, the danger of a heart being gently pulled away from its true path without realizing what is happening. Michael showed me that your soulmate is standing in a season of inner uncertainty, a season where their emotions rise and fall like unpredictable waves. One day they feel clarity, the next day heaviness. One moment they feel open, the next moment withdrawn. It is as though they are surrounded by a mist that keeps them from seeing their next steps. This mist is not natural. It is not simply stress, not simply life, not simply emotion. It is spiritual fog. And this fog formed the moment your decision, that unintentional shift in your path, reached them through the soulmate thread. You may not have meant it. You may not have even thought it. But something inside you moved, and that movement echoed into their life like a quiet tremor beneath their feet. Imagine a bird flying across the sky with a clear sense of direction. But then a cloud moves unexpectedly into its path. Not to push it violently, but to block its view. The bird hesitates. It circles. It questions its own instinct. It pauses in mid-flight, sensing something is off but unable to articulate what. That is what your soulmate has been feeling. Their spirit wants to move forward, but their clarity has been dimmed. Michael showed me that there are whispers around your soulmate's heart. Not voices of evil, but voices of uncertainty. Doubt trying to take root. Fear trying to cloud their intuition. Overthinking, second-guessing, hesitating, stepping back when they should be stepping forward. This is how destinies become delayed. Not by sudden destruction, but by small spiritual hesitations that accumulate over time. The Archangel let me feel the weight of their emotions. Your soulmate's heart has been tired. Not broken, not defeated, but tired. They have been carrying questions they cannot answer. They have been sensing a change within themselves but cannot identify the source. They have been feeling detached from their usual strength, almost as if part of them has been waiting for something that has not yet arrived. My beloved child, your soulmate is more connected to you than either of you fully understands. When your alignment shifted, their spirit sensed a change. When you hesitated, their heart stumbled. When confusion brushed against your life, a shadow brushed against theirs. This is not a punishment. This is the nature of soul connection. This is how woven destinies communicate before words are ever spoken. Michael explained that the danger is not that your soulmate will be harmed, but that they may choose a path that does not belong to them simply because their clarity is weakened. The danger is that they may say yes to something they should decline, or no to something they were meant to receive. The danger is that they may follow a direction not written in their divine story, a direction born from confusion instead of alignment. Heaven is intervening now because destiny has a window. There are moments in time when paths can be redirected effortlessly, and moments when delay can make the correction harder. Your soulmate is standing right at the edge of such a window, and heaven wants you to see your part before that window begins to close. Michael revealed something else. Your soulmate has been feeling your energy more intensely recently. They may think of you unexpectedly. They may feel your emotions without knowing why. They may dream of you or sense your presence even when far away. This is because the connection between you is awakening. And when soul connections awaken, spiritual forces take notice. Some forces do not want clarity restored. Some forces thrive on confusion. But Archangel Michael stands ready to fight for this connection, to restore what has been disrupted, if you are willing to understand and act. This is why you were chosen to hear this message today. This is why heaven called you. Your soulmate is not lost. They are not falling apart. They are standing in a fog that you have the ability to clear once you see the truth. And heaven is guiding you step by step into the understanding that will free both of your paths. My beloved child, come closer again, for what we are about to uncover requires a heart that is willing to look gently but honestly within. You have heard how the unseen fog around your soulmate formed, and now we must step into the quiet center of this mystery. Archangel Michael revealed that the root of this disturbance lies in a hidden decision you made, a decision small enough that you may have forgotten it, subtle enough that you may not even recognize its weight, yet powerful enough to send ripples through the thread that connects your soul to theirs. Do not let your heart fear this truth. Heaven does not expose what is hidden to punish you. Heaven reveals what is hidden so you may rise above it. The decision in question was not wrong. It was not sinful. It was not destructive. It was simply misunderstood by your spirit, a moment when you chose from a place of protection and not purpose, from a place of worry and not wisdom, from a place of hesitation instead of alignment. And because soul connections are sensitive, that hesitation echoed into the life of the one tied to your destiny. Let me tell you how Michael showed it to me, for the vision was gentle but clear. He unfolded before me a memory of you, not in physical detail, but in emotional truth. He showed me a moment when you felt unsure of yourself, unsure of a relationship, unsure of moving forward, unsure of trusting your heart. In that moment, you pulled your energy back. You closed a door inside your spirit. You said, in a quiet but powerful way, I do not know if I am ready. You may not have spoken those words aloud, but spiritually, they were heard. This inner retreat sent a signal through the soulmate thread, a signal that reached the heart of the one meant to walk with you. Your uncertainty became a vibration they sensed. Your hesitation became a pause in their own steps. That is the beauty and the challenge of soul connections. They carry truth long before truth becomes words. This decision you made may have been a choice to guard your heart, or to distance yourself from something or someone, or to delay a commitment, or to pull back from vulnerability. And heaven understands why you made it. But your soulmate felt that shift as if a warm hand had suddenly grown cold. Michael explained that your soulmate had been experiencing emotional fluctuations not because of weakness, but because they are spiritually sensitive to your movements. Souls destined for each other often share a mirror. When one soul closes a door, the other feels the hallway grow dim. When one soul hesitates, the other senses a pull without knowing why. When one soul turns inward, the other feels as though they are suddenly standing alone. You may be surprised to learn this. You may even be wondering how such a small decision could reach someone who is not physically with you. But my child, spiritual bonds operate far beyond the reach of physical rules. They are carried through energy, intention, alignment, and divine design. You cannot hide your true internal movement from a soul that has been tied to you by heaven. They feel what your spirit whispers even when your mouth stays silent. Michael made it clear that your decision was not wrong, only incomplete. You made the choice from the information you had, from the feelings you understood at the time. But you did not see the full picture. You did not see how heaven had already positioned someone whose journey intertwines with yours. And because you did not see it, your choice created a momentary disharmony that your soulmate is now walking through. But here is the mercy in all of this, my beloved child. What was shaken can be steadied. What was dim can be relit. What was confused can be clarified. The reason heaven has brought this message to you now is because the ripple can still be redirected. The fog around your soulmate can still be cleared. The uncertainty that touched their spirit can still be lifted. You are not hearing this too late. You are hearing this at the divine moment, when change is still possible. Michael showed me that your soulmate has been waiting energetically for you to sense what is happening. Their soul has been reaching, trying to understand the sudden heaviness in their heart. They may think they are overthinking. They may think they are emotionally overwhelmed. They may think they are simply going through a phase. But the truth is that they are reacting to your earlier decision, the one you made quietly, the one you barely noticed, the one that carried more spiritual weight than you realized. What heaven is calling you to now is awareness, a soft shift, a gentle turning of your heart toward alignment. Once you understand the effect your decision had, you can begin correcting the resonance it created. You can begin restoring the clarity your soulmate needs. This restoration does not happen through force. It happens through intention, through acknowledgement, through willingness, through choosing to open the door you once closed, through stepping into the alignment that your soul has been longing for. My beloved child, listen closely now. There is a reason heaven wants this message to reach not only your ears, but also the hearts of many who are meant to awaken to their own connections. When you allow this message to move through you, you not only restore your destiny but help illuminate paths for others who feel the same unseen tremors. In moments like these, sharing light becomes a divine act, a sacred ripple that spreads clarity across countless hearts. When you help this message travel, you help awaken others who are lost in their own fog. And heaven sees that act as a seed of divine service. Let your heart hold that truth gently. My beloved child, let us continue walking together, for the path now leads us into the very heart of how your decision, that quiet, unintentional shift, traveled through the spiritual thread and reached your soulmate. Many people think choices stay inside their own lives, their own hearts, their own minds. But when two souls are tied by divine design, every movement becomes a message. Every change becomes a signal. Every hesitation becomes a vibration that travels farther than any spoken word. Archangel Michael showed me this ripple not as a metaphor, but as a living truth. He revealed it as if I were watching a drop of light fall into a still pool. The moment that drop touched the water, waves formed, gentle but powerful, expanding farther and farther outward until they reached the farthest edges of the pool. One small moment, one small shift, one small decision had a reach far greater than the one who made it ever realized. This is how your choice reached your soulmate. Your decision, my beloved child, did not travel through logic. It did not travel through physical action. It traveled through energy. Souls speak a language beyond sound. They understand one another in ways the mind cannot grasp. And when your heart pulled inward, when you stepped back from something emotionally, spiritually, or mentally, that pull created an echo that moved through the connection between you. Michael showed me how this echo touched your soulmate. It brushed against their spirit like a sudden cool wind in a warm room. It made them pause without knowing why. It made them feel uncertain without having a clear reason. It caused them to question things inside themselves that had nothing to do with their own actions. You must understand, beloved child, soulmates often feel each other before they understand each other. They react even before their mind catches up. Your ripple reached them at a moment when they were already standing in a delicate place, already seeking clarity, already trying to understand the next steps in their own journey. And when your signal arrived, that silent moment of hesitation, it created a disturbance in their emotional waters. It made what was already unclear seem even more confusing. It made what was already heavy feel a little heavier. But here is the truth that Michael emphasized: your ripple did not harm them. Your ripple did not break anything. Your ripple did not destroy their path. It simply created fog. It created a pause. It created a moment of internal uncertainty, the kind that makes a person step back and say, "Why do I suddenly feel unsure? Why do I feel disconnected? Why do I feel something shifting inside me even though nothing around me has changed?" Your soulmate has been asking those silent questions. Not aloud, not to others, but inside their own heart. And they have not been able to find the source. They have been searching for explanation, but without knowing the spiritual connection, they cannot trace the feeling to its origin. They just know they feel different. They know something moved inside them. They know something shifted. Michael showed me something else, something tender, something sacred. When your ripple reached them, your soulmate did not grow cold toward you. They did not turn away from you. Instead, they felt a kind of ache, a longing, a quiet tug that they could not understand. They sensed the shift as distance, even if they did not know it came from your side. They felt the echo as silence, even if you did not speak it aloud. This longing is not weakness. It is recognition. It is their soul noticing that the rhythm between the two of you changed. Souls read the truth before the mind interprets it. And this is why your soulmate hath been feeling emotionally unsettled. Why they may feel drained, distracted, or introspective. Why they may feel like they are waiting for something even though they cannot name what that something is. They are responding to your earlier movement, the way a compass needle responds to the slightest magnetic shift. But hear me now, my beloved child, because this is the part that heaven most wants you to understand. The ripple that reached them can also be reversed. The confusion that touched them can be cleared. The fog that surrounded them can be lifted. The moment of misalignment can be healed. And the same connection, allowed your hesitation to reach them, now has the power to carry your clarity, your intention, your alignment back to them with even greater force. Michael stressed something beautiful. Your soulmate's spirit trusts you. Even through the fog, even through the shifting vibrations, even through their uncertainty, there is a part of them that leans toward you, not away. A part of them that waits for your energy to settle. A part of them that is ready to respond the moment you realign with what heaven is revealing. And this is the mercy of soul connection. What created turbulence can also create harmony. What caused confusion can also bring clarity. What sent a ripple of hesitation can now send a wave of divine reassurance. You have far more influence over your soulmate's spiritual atmosphere than you know, and heaven is calling you to use that influence with awareness, love, and intention. Your fog can be lifted when you step back into the alignment that belongs to you. Stay with me, my beloved child. The Archangel has already begun revealing how you can restore balance, how you can protect your soulmate, and how you can become the cause of clarity instead of confusion. My beloved child, now let us step into the part of this revelation where heaven's guidance becomes clear. For Archangel Michael did not come merely to reveal the problem. No, he came to offer the divine instructions needed to protect your soulmate and restore what has been shaken. His presence in the room grew stronger as he began to speak of this. Not heavier, not frightening, but more radiant, as though the air itself brightened with purpose. He stood not as a messenger now, but as a guardian ready to equip you with what your heart needs to do. He said that soul connections are not fragile, but they are sensitive. They respond to alignment. They respond to intention. They respond to spiritual posture. And because the ripple that reached your soulmate came from a movement within you, the restoration must also begin within you. Michael's first instruction was not about doing something outward. It was about shifting your inner being back into the truth of who you are and who you are destined to be. He spoke softly, yet with a firmness that carried the weight of heaven, and said, they must bring their heart into a place of openness again. They must stop hiding from what their soul already knows. Your hesitation had created a vibration of uncertainty, and the only antidote to such uncertainty is inner clarity. Michael told me that before you can protect your soulmate, you must stop doubting your own worthiness, your own calling, your own capacity to love and be loved. He said that your soulmate has been affected because you underestimated the value of your own presence. You doubted the importance of your role in someone else's destiny, and that doubt became the very echo that touched them. My beloved child, hear me now. The first step to protecting your soulmate is accepting that you matter. Not in pride, not in ego, but in divine truth. You matter in their story. You matter in their healing. You matter in their clarity. Your life and theirs are not loosely connected. They are purposefully intertwined. Michael wants you to embrace this truth, because once you do, your energy begins to stabilize, and the vibrations of stability travel through the thread just as quickly as the vibrations of hesitation once did. Michael then revealed a second instruction. He placed his hand over the glowing thread that represents your connection and said, they must speak truth within themselves. This does not mean you need to speak to your soulmate right now. This is not about reaching out physically. This is about speaking truth in your spirit. He said your soul has been carrying a truth that your mind has been trying to avoid. And truth about what you feel. And truth about what you want. A truth about what your heart recognizes, but your fear tries to overlook. And the silence within you created silence within them. To protect your soulmate, you must speak within yourself the truth you've been holding back. You must acknowledge your longing, your connection, your desire for alignment. When you finally admit your truth to yourself, the thread awakens again. It hums. It relates. It strengthens. And that strength travels to your soulmate like a warm wind cutting through cold fog. Michael's third instruction was about becoming a source of peace. He said their soulmate is feeling the echo of their unrest. If they bring peace to their own spirit, they will bring peace back to theirs. Your soulmate hath been sensing your inner battles, your doubts, your unresolved tensions. And those emotions traveled through the connection, creating confusion. But when you center yourself, when you breathe deeply, when you choose calm over fear and trust over doubt, the peace becomes spiritual protection. It surrounds your soulmate like a shield, steadying them, grounding them, guiding them. You may wonder, how can something so simple be so powerful? But remember, beloved child, soul communication is not through words. It is through energy. And peace is the most protective energy heaven ever created. Then came Michael's fourth instruction, the most powerful of all. He said that you must lift your soulmate in light. Not in worry, not in fear, but in light. He instructed that whenever you think of them, you should imagine them surrounded by brightness, clarity, and divine protection. Imagine their path illuminated. Imagine confusion melting from their mind. Imagine their heart strengthened. This simple act becomes a spiritual beacon that cuts through the fog around them. Your intention becomes a sword of light in Michael's own hands, and he uses it to fight on their behalf. My beloved child, Michael also wants you to know that your soulmate is not battling alone. He himself hath been standing guard around them, shielding them from deeper misdirection, protecting their heart from stepping into a path not meant for them. But your role matters. Heaven has already done its part. Now yours begins. When you align your energy, when you speak truth within yourself, when you hold peace, and when you lift them in light, the fog will weaken. The confusion will break. Their heart will find clarity again, because your heart has returned to its rightful position. And there is one final instruction Michael whispered, simple, yet profound. He said, tell them not to run from destiny. Tell them to stop resisting what their soul already knows. For your resistance becomes their confusion. But your acceptance becomes their clarity. You have far more influence than you realize, my child. And heaven is asking you now to step into that influence with intention, humility, and love. My beloved child, walk with me now into the next part of this divine revelation, for Archangel Michael did not simply show the danger, nor did he only reveal the instructions. He showed the path back to balance, the path that restores what the fog tried to blur, the path that brings both you and your soulmate back into alignment before the window of destiny shifts. This part of the message carries both tenderness and urgency, because heaven is giving you a chance to correct what has drifted, to realign what has loosened, and to breathe clarity into a connection that heaven itself designed. Michael showed me that restoring balance does not require grand gestures or dramatic actions. It does not require complicated rituals or overwhelming effort. Restoration begins with something far more intimate and far more powerful, a shift inside your heart. Heaven is not asking you to chase your soulmate, nor to rush toward them, nor to force anything. Heaven is asking you to realign your spirit with truth. When your spirit returns to alignment, your energy becomes a beacon that guides theirs back into clarity. Let me show you how Michael revealed it. He showed me two rivers, one representing you, the other representing your soulmate. When you made that quiet decision rooted in uncertainty, your river curves slightly away from its original path. Not dramatically, not stubbornly, but just enough to create a separation between the two currents. And because soulmate connections reflect each other, the moment your river shifted, theirs felt the pull. Their direction became less clear. Their flow weakened. Their current hesitated. Michael said that restoring balance means gently guiding your river back toward its original flow. Not pushing. Not forcing. Simply realigning. This return begins with honesty. There is a truth your soul has known for a long time, a truth your emotions have whispered and your intuition has nudged, yet your fear or doubt made you hesitate. Restoring balance means finally acknowledging a truth. Whether it is a longing you have silenced, a connection you have downplayed, or a calling you have avoided, heaven needs you to speak that truth internally. When your heart stops running from what it feels, that alone sends a surge of clarity toward your soulmate. Michael then revealed that restoring balance also requires stillness. Not passivity, but stillness. Your spirit has been busy internally, wrestling with questions, doubts, defenses, memories, and fears. And this internal noise has created turbulence in the connection. Your soulmate has been sensing this turbulence without understanding its source. When you enter stillness, when you breathe deeply and let your soul rest, your energy becomes steady again. And your steadiness becomes their steadiness. This is why heaven calls you to rest your spirit. For when you are calm, the connection becomes calm. When you are centered, they become centered. When your emotions soften, their fears weaken. You are more spiritually connected than you realize. Michael also showed me that restoring balance includes releasing something you have been holding too tightly. Perhaps it is fear of being hurt again. Perhaps it is fear of choosing wrong. Perhaps it is fear of vulnerability, fear of disappointment, fear of trusting what you cannot fully see. Heaven is not asking you to let go of your boundaries. Heaven is asking you to let go of the fear that has been shaping your decisions more than truth has. That fear created the ripple. That fear sent confusion to your soulmate. And when you release that fear, even in the smallest measure, their fog begins to lift. Then the Archangel revealed something incredibly beautiful. He said your soulmate has been reaching for you in their spirit. Not consciously, not intentionally, but instinctively. Your soul has been calling for alignment. They have been seeking your energy, hoping to sense the clarity that once steadied them. And when you realign, when you breathe truth, when you return to your authentic emotional posture, your soulmate receives that shift like a warm sunrise breaking through a long night. Michael explained that restoration is not a one-time act. It is a gentle unfolding. Every moment you choose clarity over fear, alignment over avoidance, openness over hesitation, your soulmate feels it. They begin to find their own footing again. Their emotions become lighter. Their intuition sharpens. Their heart grows calmer. The restoration also involves something sacred, forgiveness. Not forgiveness for wrongdoing, but forgiveness for misunderstanding. You must forgive yourself for not knowing what your decision would cause. You must forgive yourself for the hesitation you could not explain at the time. Because self-forgiveness opens your spirit, and an open spirit sends clarity to your soulmate. It tells them energetically, you are safe. We are aligned. The fog is lifting. And finally, Michael revealed that restoring balance requires trust. Trust in the connection. Trust in the timing. Trust in divine orchestration. You may not know what comes next. You may not see the full path ahead. But heaven does. And Archangel Michael stands ready to guide each step, to shield your soulmate, to protect this connection, and to ensure that destiny unfolds according to divine design. Your willingness to step back into alignment gives heaven something to work with. It gives Michael the permission to intervene more strongly. It gives your soulmate the clarity they have been silently craving. You do not need to fix everything. You simply need to return to truth, return to openness, return to the place where your heart once knew its direction clearly. When you do this, restoration begins immediately. The fog begins to thin. Your soulmate's confusion begins to fade. Their spirit starts to breathe again. Because your spirit has returned to its rightful position. My beloved child, you are not alone in this journey. Heaven is walking with you. Michael is fighting for you. And your soulmate is waiting for the clarity that only you can unlock. My beloved child, let us move now into one of the most powerful parts of this entire revelation. For Archangel Michael did not only show the danger, the ripple, or the restoration. He showed the outcome. He showed what happens when you finally step into alignment, when you finally act from truth instead of hesitation, when you allow clarity to return to your spirit and, through that clarity, return to your soulmate's spirit as well. This part of the message unfolds like a sunrise after a long night, gentle at first, but then brilliant, undeniable, alive. Michael revealed that when you act, when you realign, when you honor the connection heaven has tied between you, your soulmate will feel the shift almost immediately. Not with their mind, perhaps not with their body, but with their soul. The fog they have been walking through will begin to lift. The heaviness they could not explain will start to break apart. The uncertainty that has been pressing on their heart will loosen its grip. Their spirit will begin to breathe again. He showed me the moment your alignment touches theirs. I saw a thread of light running between your two souls, the same thread he showed me before. Except this time, the thread was not trembling or pulling unevenly. It was glowing, steady, warm, alive. And from your side, a wave of clarity flowed down the golden line, reaching your soulmate like a soft wind brushing across their soul. Michael said that when your heart returns to its truth, your soulmate will experience it as an unexpected moment of clarity, a sudden realization, a sense of peace breaking through confusion. It may come to them while sitting quietly. It may come to them while thinking of you. It may come to them during a moment of reflection or in the middle of an ordinary day. But it will come. Your heart will shift. Their direction will begin to make sense again. Their emotions will steady. And the choices they were about to make from a place of confusion will lose their grip. For the fog cannot stay when the source of alignment awakens again. Your soulmate hath been standing at a spiritual crossroads, feeling torn, feeling unsure, feeling as though they are being pulled in two directions. But when your energy realigns, Michael showed me that the correct path, the divinely intended path, will become visible to them once again. Not through force, not through pressure, but through revelation. Their heart will know. Your steps will know. Their spirit will lean naturally toward the direction meant for them. Michael then revealed something even deeper, something that touched me profoundly. He showed me that your soulmate hath been longing for a sense of emotional grounding, a feeling of being held, supported, understood at a soul level. They have been searching for something they could not name. They have been feeling an absence they could not explain. But once your alignment returns, that ache within them quiets. Because what they were sensing, what they were instinctively reaching for, was you. Your clarity becomes their stability. Your courage becomes their strength. Your inner truth becomes their compass. This is the beauty of soul connections restored to harmony. You will not need to speak a word for them to feel the shift. They will feel it in the way their heart settles. They will feel it in the peace that washes into their thoughts. They will feel it in the sudden sense of direction, that returns to them. Souls speak in silence long before mouths speak in words. Michael showed me yet another outcome. He said that once the fog lifts, your soulmate will begin to remember their own purpose, their own dreams, their own emotional truth. The confusion that clouded their spirit made them forget parts of themselves. But clarity restores identity. It brings them back to who they truly are. And that return becomes the foundation upon which destiny begins to unfold. In the vision, I saw your soulmates standing in a field of light, as though they had stepped out of a dense forest and onto a clear path. Their face was lifted. Their heart was open. Their spirit was steady. And above them, Michael's wings formed a shield, strong, protective, luminous. He said, "This is what happens when the connection is restored." They walk safely again. They walk purposefully again. They walk truthfully again. But the most beautiful part came next. Michael showed me the moment your paths begin to move toward each other again. Not through force, not through desperation, but through natural divine alignment. When two souls are woven together by heaven, clarity pulls them closer just as confusion pushes them apart. When you return to your truth, your soulmate finds their way back to their truth, and truth leads both of you back to the connection heaven wrote into your story long before this lifetime began. I saw the two rivers again, the ones representing your spirits. And as your river curved back toward its intended course, the river representing your soulmate began to shift as well, slowly at first, then steadily, then powerfully, until both currents ran parallel again, moving in the same direction, guided by the same divine purpose. Michael whispered something in that moment, and his words carried the weight of eternity. He said, when they act, destiny rejoins. What was delayed becomes possible again. What was written becomes predicted. What was fog becomes clear. What was troubling becomes strong. Your soulmate is waiting not for a message, not for an explanation, but for your spiritual alignment. When it happens, their heart will know. Their soul will feel the shift. Their path will brighten. And the connection between you will become stronger than the fog that tried to blur it. My beloved child, the next part brings heaven's final peal, the closing of this divine message, the completion of what Michael came to deliver. My beloved child, now we arrive the moment where Archangel Michael's revelation reaches its completion. Walk with me gently here, for heaven speaks in a tone both urgent and tender. The air around this final message carries a weight that is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken the deepest part of your spirit, the part that remembers, the part that recognizes truth, the part that knows you were meant to hear this at precisely this moment in your life. Michael stood before me with a radiance that seemed even brighter than before. His wings were not spread in battle, but folded in assurance. He was not warning now, he was inviting. His voice came not as a command, but as a plea filled with divine love. He said, "Tell them this message is not random. Tell them it was sent because the window is still open. Tell them because their action still matters. Heaven does not send a message like this unless something precious is at stake. Your soulmate, whose life has been touched by your unintentional ripple, stands at a point in their journey where clarity is precious, where alignment is necessary, where fog must be lifted quickly. And you, my beloved child, have the power to shift everything. Not by force, not by chasing, not by words, but by returning to the truth of your own soul. Michael made something clear as the final revelation. You were chosen to hear this because you are capable of restoring what hath been shaken. You are not powerless in this story. You are not a bystander. You are a divine participant in a connection heaven itself tied. There is strength inside you that you have not been using. There is clarity inside you that you have not been trusting. There is purpose inside you that you have been overlooking. Your soulmate is sensing your movement even now. They may feel hope without knowing why. They may feel their heart lighten without having any explanation. This is the beginning of the fog lifting. This is the moment where your soul begins to guide theirs back toward the path intended for both of you. But hear me, my beloved child, because this is important. Heaven has spoken. The message has been delivered. And now, you must carry it forward. Not only for yourself, not only for your soulmate, but for others who are meant to hear a revelation like this and awaken to their own path. You have a divine duty now, not a burden but a calling. When a message from heaven arrives with such clarity, such urgency, such prophetic weight, it is meant to ripple outward. It is meant to touch more hearts. It is meant to protect more destinies. It is meant to awaken more souls who have been walking through fog without understanding why. So let this message not end with you alone. Let it move through you. Let it expand. Let it reach the ones who need it. When you help this message travel, heaven sees it as a sacred act, a spiritual offering, a way of partnering with the divine. It becomes a way of saying, I honor what heaven has spoken. I honor the protection heaven offers. I honor the guidance given to me. You are a vessel now, my child. A vessel of clarity. A vessel of awakening. A vessel chosen to receive and to share. And as Michael's presence began to fade, he left one final truth, spoken gently yet carrying the depth of heaven's authority. Tell them their soulmate will be safe when they step into alignment. Tell them their connection will strengthen. Tell them destiny will unfold as it was written. But tell them not to let this message rest in silence. Let it be carried. Let it be lifted. Let it be shared. For in doing so, you honor the Archangel's call. You honor the divine protection placed over both your lives. And you help guide others into their own clarity. My beloved child, may this message take root in your spirit. May its truth guide your next steps. May its power awaken your destiny. And may heaven's light never leave your path. Amen.